Welcome back to another tight poker strategy video, and this time we're going to be taking a look at 50 no limit 6-max. It's when the blinds are 25 cents and 50 cents, and we've got a guy who submitted his hands to me, and he's a really good solid player. 5 big bets per 100, which is an amazing win rate even at these stakes. If you're anything over 4, I wouldn't say you're necessarily crushing, but you're obviously doing a lot right. So it'll be very interesting to look at these hands, and we'll just jump right into it. And here we've got kings. And so we've got this raise to $2 from early position from a fairly tight player. The 3-bet size here, $7 is, I guess it's all right. Might have liked it to be a little bit bigger since we're out of the small blind. The really fishy player, he's a 72-0, and if you're not familiar with HUD stats, take a look at one of the previous videos, but basically he's in every pot, 72% of them, and he's never raising. But we only have 25 hands, so it's just a quick indicator, not an actual read, I would say. And then our original raiser folds. So the flop's good, 2, 4, 6, 2 spades, and it's time to be continuation betting. 13 into 1650 is actually good because this is somewhat of a wet flop. You've got some connected cards here. That means that he's not going to be folding a lot of his draws. Well, he's not going to be folding any of his draws. And if he's got something like pocket 7s or above, he might even just be willing to get it in here. So he flats. There's the 7, not a great card for us, but certainly we're continuing against this type of player who, by all means, isn't folding ever. And so we just go ahead and shove all in. I like that play. He calls, and he shows up with top pair and a flush draw, so not a bad play by him, I guess, with this board. He just really didn't have the read that he had something like 10s or higher, which was really reasonable considering this player had 3-bet out of the small blind. River's good, and our hero takes down a big pot. Nice job with the big pocket pair. Next hand, queens on the button. And another 3-bet. 650 is pretty good. Yeah, I don't have much of a problem with that. And so you get 4-bet out of the small blind from Maniac, basically. 46-29. He 3-bets 9% of the time. We only have 87 hands. It'll be interesting to see 4-bet stats here. His 4-bet range is 5.5%, which includes this hand, so it was probably a little less. And in a 6-max game against this kind of player, I don't have a problem getting it in. And that's what he did. And we got a call. And we got a flip. And we lose. But I don't mind getting it in against that kind of guy ever. King-queen suited in the cutoff. Standard raise, good size there. Flat, flat. 1 fish, 1 nit. And so, this kind of guy, he might be doing this with things like ace, jack, certainly any pocket pair. And so, flop the world. You've got the straight flush draw when you've flopped the straight, and you've got the second nut flush draw. So, definitely trying to get it in. 1 fold, 1 call, or 1 raise. So the check raise there says to me that he might have the ace high flush draw, or he's got an inferior straight, or maybe flopped a set. So the good news when you've made that kind of read is that he's never folding. And if you've got the nuts here, get it in. Don't slow play. So that's unfortunately what our hero did here. But hey, go ahead and raise. When you check raises like this, you get it in. He's not folding ever. The queen comes. Unfortunately, that's a bad card for us in the sense that it's a we still have the second nuts and then the second nut flush draw, but at the same time, the problem here is that that's an action killer. So he goes ahead and shoves. We cannot fold. He shows the set, and hopefully the board doesn't pair. It does not, and we take it down. Nice job. All right, small blind 10-8 suited, kind of weird. So our hero just calls, just probably hoping to see a flop. I'm not sure if I love this maneuver. Certainly a raise. There's something to be said for that. But I really just don't like the flat there. Flop top pair, and definitely would want to lead out. He checks. So bit of a disagreement. Check call on this kind of board is just the wrong maneuver. It's a wet board. There's so many cards that can come on the turn that would just make you go, damn, what do I do now? So I think leading out is good, and I think a check raise here is fine. But the flat, nah. So there's 10, two pair, top two pair, and another check, and this time the check raise, which is just mandatory, and I would have preferred leading out, but really, really weird re-raise there, and so I think this is just a bad situation. You've got top two on this really weird board. There's a ton of draws, so I mean, do you fold here? Never. Are you raising it and getting it in? Sometimes. So that's what he went and did. He gets called, and I'm sure he's going to show some weird nut hand. And sure enough, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the straight, just drawing practically dead. So I don't think at any point in this hand this type of guy is going to be folding. So in terms of results, we don't necessarily want to be thinking about that because no matter what we would have done, it would have been wrong if you look at it from a results perspective. But the right way in terms of fundamentals, a raise here would have been great, and leading out here for 150 would have been good. Check raise there is mandatory, and just got ourselves in just a lot of trouble because we just hit his gin card there with the turn. A little unfortunate, but a little disagreement on the play too. Okay, 8's on the button. Standard raise. 3-bet from the small blind. And so we're going to take a look at the stats. This is where HUD can help you. Right here, we see that his 3-bet versus a steal out of the small blind is 13%. So I don't think we can ever fold here, just because for set mining value, and we've got a mid-pocket pair in position. And 4-betting him may not be so great. We don't have too many reads, but he's been 4-bet twice and he hasn't folded. So I think flatting here is fine. And so we've flopped overs, but we've got to be careful because he could have 8's beat very easily here. He leads out, and we might just be floating one street. And the raise I don't really like too much. If we hit the nuts or something, I don't know, but he gets it in, and unless we had a specific read, this is a fold for sure. Fortunately, our hero calls, so I'm guessing there had to have been some sort of specific read here. He goes ahead and shows 7, so I think our hero got a little fortunate here. But this might have been a specific read that this guy gets it in 3-bet pots with just overcards, and if that was the case, then I like it. Just prima facie, I don't necessarily like the play too much, but it really feels like that was a specific read play. All right, now we got 3's on the button. Standard raise. We hit our set. Definitely c-betting. He calls. I think we're just betting, and that's fine too. Bad card on the river, and he leads into us. So that's just terrible because so often a guy like this is just flatting with his draw, and just it's amazing that these guys will do something so stupid and get rewarded every time. But pot bets like this, can be bluffs for sure. But that card is just all too scary. This is a real tough call for me. But if you call, I would expect to be beat. I don't know, a lot of the time. So, made the call. He's hit a set of 4s. Wow. That's spectacularly amazing that that guy would do that on that board. Basically, 2 huge errors on flop turn, facing the bet, flatting on a gut shot, and just hitting a miracle card on the river. Wow. All right, we got some aces in the big blind.